Go.
Now we're live.
There we go. We're live. Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up? What's up? It is
It's hump
Wednesday, and that
day.
means it's time for hump day, hump day,
Hump day.
hump day.
Oh, Joe's here.
Yeah,
Don't say anything wrong.
stream's over.
Stream's over. We got to go.
That's it. Thank you guys for joining. Really do appreciate you tonight. Thank you for all your questions that we didn't answer. All right, guys, for real this time. Good to see you guys. It's another weekly podcast or episode of us going live, answering your questions. So if you have any questions for us, slot related, gambling related, let us know in the comments. We'll start starring them as they come in, and we'll try to get to as many as we can. As usual, the earlier you come in and put those in, the more likely we're going to pick them. But we do try to kind of go around a little bit just to try to get some variety, because we do get a lot of the same questions over and over again. Also, just a couple announcements on my side, and then I'm going to hand it over to Dave because he's got some news articles that we're going to go over.
I got some news.
Cool. And so first thing, we announced this last week, but for the month of November, we are sponsoring a charity by Will to the Stars, which is, of course, the Children's Army. We have mentioned this before. If you want to go check them out, here's their website, thechildrensarmy.org. Very good organization. So in the month of November, every single live stream that we do, our weekly live streams, plus any live streams that we do while we are in Vegas later this month, those are the things that we are going to be committing to donating 100% of every super chat, every ad dollar, everything that comes.
Every live, everything.
Everything will be donated to the Children's Army in the month of November. So if you guys.
However,
what?
Instead of doing a super chat, I realize super chats are easy, and the super chat, super stickers are easy. If you have the ability, if this is the only way you can give, great. If you have the ability, go to the Children's Army website and donate there. That way they get 100% of it. All right.
I don't think YouTube takes their cut for.
Good point.
Yeah, YouTube doesn't take cuts for sponsored. Yeah, I think we're good.
Cancel all that.
Any way that you want to do it, we will certainly appreciate it. And I know Will over at To the Stars will appreciate it as well. He's doing some really good stuff for children. They are our future. We need to watch out for them and do what we can to help out as much as we can. So thank you, Will, and we are very proud to be part of that. All right. Let's see. Second announcement.
It's also No Shave November.
Yes, that's what it was.
So you notice I do it anyway, but it's going to get worse. And Mark started. You can kind of see.
Yeah, I'm already itching right here, which I'm like, man, I'm going to get in the shower and shave it off. But no, we're going to do No Shave November. So by the end of the month, we're going to be looking pretty rough.
Well, it's pretty scraggly.
But that's okay, right?
And Mark, I think you're busted. Oops, nope, not from Susan, from Joe's.
I've been telling her this for a while.
She just found out about it.
She knows. I didn't tell her the dates yet.
Oh, well, surprise.
Surprise. We're going to Vegas, Jody. Not you, though. You can't. They're block days. Otherwise, we'd love you to come. All right.
Yeah. Oh, darn.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Dave, what you got, man?
Okay, so we got election news. Nothing on the presidential race. Sorry, we're not doing that.
We're not talking about that.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about interesting stuff. Along with the Missouri measure to allow sports betting that is still trying to be counted. Apparently, it's really close, within 1%, so they have to do a recount on it and everything. It's going to be days before we hear about that. But in Arkansas, they had a constitutional amendment. This is priceless stuff. So this fight has been going on for a while. In Pope County, a casino license was issued. The casino was, getting ready to start build. And then all of a sudden, some opponents came through and pushed for a constitutional amendment that specifically said in the verbiage, this amendment would stop all casinos so this casino, if this passes, would lose their license and would have to start the process over again. Try to keep in mind, a license is approved. Everything's approved. They're getting ready to start building, and all that has to reset. So the voters passed the amendment that said a casino would not be built in a county where people do not want it. Here is the irony of it. the people in Pope County, as well as the surrounding 3 counties, all voted for it. Huge margin in favor of, because they want this casino so bad. The whole entire process is going to have to repeat. They'll have to go read through their license. They're going to have to get everything reapproved again, all their state certifications. It could take them up to another year to do this. The absolute crazy part of this is that the main people who were funding this bill or this amendment were all the other casinos in Arkansas, because they didn't want another casino built. They think it's going to impact their profits, which the way Arkansas is, there's no casino right next to each other. Oak Lawn is an hour and a half away in each direction from the next closest casino. Saracen Casino, which is the next one south of Little Rock, is an hour and a half away from Oak Lawn and the next casino. They're isolated by geography. There's no reason to stop this, especially when the people in the county wanted it. They were excited about the jobs coming, about so much coming, but now it has to start all over again. And it is unclear whether the casino will pursue that. They may say, forget it, we're going to go away. But it is a tribal gaming, so I don't believe they will. I think they'll try to come back again. So we'll see how that unfolds in the next year or two. And the other part,
3 of you out there that gamble in Arkansas.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I gamble in Arkansas. Saracen Casino is really nice. I like it a lot. All right. I have this other thing to share. So you all remember my coworker Thomas T-Bone, talking about it a lot. He says, you guys never talk about me on your channel. I'm like, I use you as a bad example all the time.
Oh, yeah.
I am constantly using you as a bad example. But here's the one thing he does right. Okay, I'm going to show you this. I've showed this before. This is his spreadsheet from his coming up Vegas trip. I think he leaves on the 29th and comes back on the 3rd of December. He has got it all listed out. On Friday, he's staying at Sam's Town. $10 food credit. On Saturday, they're moving over to downtown casino somewhere. I don't know where he's staying. But he's got coupon, buy one, get one. This is a maybe over at Ellis Island or Emerald Island for breakfast. Arizona Charlie's, $10 free play. Circa. He's got all this stuff broken down for his whole trip. Every place where he has an offer, he's hitting all these places. Now, he does rent a car, which most of the time I'm against renting a car because traffic's horrible. But he uses my card, so he gets free parking. He's got all these places he's going to stop. And he's planned out his trip to like absolute degree.
This is awesome.
The one place I said, oh, Green Valley, make sure you hit the cigar game. Yeah, we're probably going to cut that one out. Like, that's the best one. But so this is
everything.
A really great outline for organizing all your offers, making sure you maximize your trip. So this is something T-Bone does right. He does everything else wrong, but this one's good.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's mostly the games that he's playing. I'm always watching him.
It's mostly the games. He's doing much better.
Yeah, he's starting to play the bingo games a little bit.
Yep, starting to play the bingo games, doing much better, coming home with money. They went to Shreveport this past weekend where Lisa, his girlfriend, hit the 3 double diamonds on double top dollar, the new one.
Yeah, that was a great
the new Diamond RS. First person I have personally known to hit it. And the first time I've seen it hit. I don't know if I've seen it hit anywhere else.
Yeah.
But they came away with money with that even. Not a lot, but they came away with some money. So he's trying.
Well, I think that, I love that spreadsheet. I think it's awesome. Like, you don't want to go crazy where you're just not having fun. But this is cool, man. Like, for those people that constantly light us up in the comments saying, you can't go to Vegas on $300. You can't go to Vegas on $200. You absolutely can.
You absolutely can.
And he had all of those free offers and comps and 2-for-1s and $25 match plays and all that stuff in there. It takes a little bit of work, but you can absolutely do it. And think about how much more rewarding it would feel coming out of that with a lot more money than you put into it because you took advantage of all those things. Like that's gambling smart. Like that's what you want to do.
Exactly.
But that's not what most people do. They just
Nope.
They walk up to the flashiest machine they see. And they just start pumping hundreds and 20s and stuff in there, and then walk away grumbling. So
I'm definitely not as organized as Thomas. Like, but when I get
I'm
offers,
I will admit it.
I stack them up, and then when I'm getting ready to go, I go through those offers then.
Yeah.
But not to that degree. I really should.
Just think about this, guys. I want you to consider this. So when people have very large bankrolls and you see them on YouTube and you see them in person, maybe you have a rich friend that likes to go with tens of thousands of dollars to Vegas. They don't have to concentrate and focus like we do. They've got the bankroll to withstand the large swings that you're going to see when you're gambling, right? But when you get down to the level where you're almost, in relation to that anyway, penny pinching, but you're coming with a lower budget, $200 to $300, you have to focus a little bit more. You have to pay attention to what you're doing, which machines you're playing, the number of breaks that you're taking, and also looking for every single dime of comp credit or match play or whatever that you can get and squeeze out of it, and that's what we're really focused on this channel more than anything, because anybody can go to a casino with 20 grand and have a fun night, right? And you can play whatever game you want. Doesn't matter volatility wise, high, low, you got the bankroll to withstand that, but we don't. We come with very low amounts, and you have to focus and pay attention a little bit more. And that's what our message is on this channel more than anything, is you got to pay attention. You got to pay attention to things. So just keep that in mind. Let's think about that a little bit. And that's why you can't be reckless going in with 200 or 300. Can you make it work? Yes, you can, but you have to work a little harder than those people with the big bankrolls. And it's unfortunate, but hey, it can work. It can work.
You can totally work it.
Yep.
I've been working it for years.
Absolutely.
I'm not rich, but I'm not poor either.
But you're having fun, though. You're having fun.
Exactly.
Like a couple shout outs here. Justin Lemon says, Mark, my wife and I ran into you at Park MGM last month. Thanks for taking the time to chat. Awesome, Justin. Do you remember what machine that was? I probably remember if you tell me what machine. I'm sorry, I can't. We met so many people that weekend that I can't
Names and faces escape him. But what machine were you standing next to?
It's the truth. Well, so then I'll remember which one I was playing when you approached me. So I don't know. But it's nice to see you. I try to remember everybody. I really do. But that weekend
it is hard.
We met over 100 people that weekend, so it was hard to kind of remember all the faces to names. But all right, and we got another shout out from Alaska, Rodney Johnson.
Hey there, Rodney from Alaska.
Good to see you.
Lower Alaska or Fairbanks area? It
like
that matters.
Dark all the time or dark most of the time.
Yeah.
You're coming on to that time of year where it's just dark all the time. All right. Dave, here's a good one for you. I want to just go and put
any updates for Texas casinos? None yet, Mike. We are in the holding pattern, essentially. I actually met a guy this past weekend who is part of the Texas Lyceum organization, whatever. They are having a big get-together next weekend in South Padre, where they're talking about gambling and weed, casinos and marijuana. I was like, I think you want to separate those two out. I think that's kind of the legal issue we're having is they bump it all together.
Both are sources of tax revenue, so they should be.
I 100% agree with you. Both are sources of tax revenue. I agree on that front. But at the same time, when you're trying to convince somebody to accept gambling, they're instantly going to illegal. And when you're trying to convince somebody about marijuana, they're instantly going to illegal. So try to divide up those two. The main problem with gambling in Texas is both the history that Texas has had with organized crime and the people see the slippery slope argument of problem gambling. We have a large Baptist coalition here in Texas. It has been going on, 100-something years now, so it's not really going away. But at the same time, I think those fears have lessened a lot because the mob is no longer huge in Texas. It's been many decades since they were. We're giving up a lot of tax dollars to Louisiana and Oklahoma, who are the main people voting against gambling in Texas. They're the ones who have the most lobbyists against gambling. The Vegas companies, corporations, MGM, Caesars, Penn, Sands, all those, they all own land and are ready to go with gambling here in Texas. So the real issue is Oklahoma and Louisiana lobbyists playing up to the fears of the base, that don't want gambling. So we'll see. Fingers crossed.
That's right. That's all you can do, right?
Yep.
All right. Got some good questions coming in tonight. Where was that one? I just saw one. Yeah, here we go. From Carla Warner. I don't think I've seen you in here before, so welcome. Hope you're enjoying the stream and hope you're enjoying the channel. Make sure always remember to subscribe, thumbs up, ring the bell for notification. You know the drill, guys.
Yeah,
I had to say it.
Ooh, I got the answer to this one.
No.
So what I do, Carla, is when I want to find the best time of day, I look at my watch, and whatever time that says is the best time.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All joking aside, no, there's not a best time to play. Machines are not on a schedule. They're not on a timer. They're not due because somebody's put a lot of money in, or they're on the take because somebody has won a lot. Those things do not occur with slot machines. In any licensed casino, you will not see that behavior. It's not allowed, and there's a lot of compliance that goes into it to make sure that it's not allowed. So there's not a good time of day. People swear by this, but it's something called confirmation bias. When you end up doing something, what your brain does, and this is natural, all humans go through this. When you approach something that you do not know much about, okay, and most of us don't know a lot about how slot machines work on the mathematical side, probabilities, all that, okay? Most people don't. And so what they do, and this is human nature, is they look for patterns and explanations as to what is going on. And our brain associates that. So, for example, if you were to, let's say, go to Vegas for 4 days, and 3 out of the 4 days you played before 8 a.m. and you always won, but on one of the days you didn't. Well, what's going to happen is you're going to think, oh, there's something to this because I always won before 8 a.m., but when I played later that evening, I never won. And so that's got to be it. It's got to be before 8 a.m. But what ends up happening is that your brain forgets about that morning that you played before 8 a.m. and didn't win because it's just focused on the times where you were rewarded for it. And it's a fascinating subject. We've done some videos on it before, but this is why slot machines play so many rude tricks on us in our brains, is that it's like the worst device that plugs into that.
It is.
And makes you feel like there's something to it. There's got to be something. I know that after somebody put thousands of dollars through the machine, I can go up and put a couple hundred in and hit a jackpot. It happens all the time. It's just chance that happens. And it doesn't happen all the time. You're just remembering the times that it does. So, yeah, there's no best time. A lot of people swear by it, but they cannot be that way and be called a slot machine. So, very good question. And good to see you here, Carla, sorry.
And there's another one here on the topic we just went through was Paul Keller. Are there any reservations in Texas where they could have a casino? Yes, there are actually 3 casinos. There's 2 casinos I know for sure, but there's always that third one near El Paso that I can never remember. Eagle Pass and Livingston are 2 casinos in Texas. They are Class 2 facilities. They're not extremely large. They're not extremely popular because of the restrictions that has been put upon them. So Livingston, for example, doesn't even really advertise that much. Like you're on 45, which is the highway going up through Houston. You see one sign for them. That's it. And so that's really kind of limiting them. And then there's the Eagle Pass, which is way down on the border. I mean, it's 5 hours from San Antonio. So that's a far drive. That's not close.
We're not making that drive anytime soon.
And then from Carl Wegner, which is a follow-up question, have you visited the casinos in Texas? Not yet. We actually ran out of time on our drive to Louisiana to visit Livingston. It is on our list. I've seen pictures of it. it doesn't look super impressive, so it's hard to justify a 3.5 hour drive there.
Yeah.
But not saying we're never going to visit it. It's just it's not high on the list.
There you go. All right.
Here's one.
Casino Latino says, boy, you look very familiar there. Is it true that a casino will actually fix the slot if it isn't paying out as much as it should? For example, low-high revenue check slot machine has a low-high handle. No, that's completely false. So think about slot machines as this. This is how I try to explain them. So just to us average people, okay? All they are a mathematical probability program that runs. Somebody clicks start the moment that the machine is powered on, and then it just plays out. There's going to be swings on either side. There's going to be times where it's paying a lot. There's going to be times when it's not paying a lot. But it's not purposely programmed to do that. It doesn't actively balance, meaning that it's looking at what it has paid and said, wait a minute, I need to back off a little bit because I've paid too much out. None of that stuff goes on in the slot machine. It's all about probabilities, just like a deck of cards. Okay, pulling out the ace of spades in the deck of cards is a 1 out of 52 chance, right? So why are you laughing?
I got what I got to put up right after you get done. This is
okay.
Funny.
So a 52 deck card, 52 deck, it's 1 out of 52 to pull out an ace of spades, but you may spend 200 or 300 attempts before you finally pull that ace of spades out. Or you may just pull it out on the first try, right? It's still an average of 1 out of 52. And by the laws of large numbers, it will eventually end up being 1 out of 52. Machines work exactly the same way. There is probabilities. That's why it's more likely to hit a single cherry than it is to hit 3 double diamonds. Okay, the probability programmed into the mathematical program is very difficult to hit the 3 double diamonds because it pays the most. But that's why you see so many cherries, because it pays the least, and it should be more frequent because it pays the least. So that's all that's going on. So there's not somebody sitting in the back saying, wow, I need to turn the dial down because we're not meeting our revenue goals. Casinos understand it. When they put a machine in and they set the theoretical payback percentage to say 90%, they know that after that machine receives a couple million spins, it's going to be pretty close to that number. They don't need to do anything. They don't need to watch it. They don't need to babysit it. They don't need to change anything. They know they put that machine in, and as long as it gets played, they're going to get 10% of every single thing that goes through there. Right? That's what is actually going on there. So they don't do those kind of things. It may feel that way sometimes because you go to your favorite machine that you're always hitting bonuses on, and then you make a trip out there and you play it, and you can't get anything. No cherry, no line hit. What is your first inclination? They've messed with the odds. They've changed the odds on this machine to make it tighter. This casino is so tight this weekend, that kind of stuff. We've all said those things. That's not what's happening. You're just catching the luck at the wrong time. And it can happen. Like, remember the deck of cards. You could shuffle that deck of cards 400 times and still not pull out an ace of spades. It's possible, but it's more likely that it'll be on average around 1 in 52. So just try to keep that in mind. Hopefully that kind of breaks it down for you guys a little bit so you can understand what's going on. Good question, though. All right, go ahead and pick the funny question.
From Clara. Dave, I'm Clara. Clara, I'm Dave. I meant Mark. Yeah, I knew that. I couldn't resist.
You're easily amused. I bet you watched Sesame Street growing up.
Oh, everyone watched Sesame Street. Also from Living Life Loving, Naskilla in Livingston is broke ground, a much larger casino with hotel. That's definitely good to hear. I like hearing that stuff. Maybe they can break the ground on the way to go forward with casino gambling.
Yeah. This is just a follow to what we're saying. RS says, is it possible to win the jackpot on every spin if your spin is timed correctly for when that generated number comes around? Yes.
Yeah.
You could.
100% possible.
You could hit 5 3 double diamonds back to back. It's not probable. Probable is
a different story. Possible versus probable.
Right.
Anything's
possible.
Possible. The Swedish bikini team could come in my door right now. It is very improbable, but it's possible.
Yeah.
It's very improbable.
Yeah,
it's very possible. It's possible. Anything is possible. It depends on how probable it is.
Yeah. It's just, it would be it's just like winning a lottery more than once. It's just, could you do it? People have. but it's just not probable and likely to happen just because the odds are astronomical, right? But if you did hit it at that right moment, it could happen. Oh yeah, real quick. Yeah, I want to make an announcement about so we did the giveaway last week. Proud Monkey was super kind to help us out. He sent me a list this afternoon of who won what. I've been trying to get to it for a week, guys, and I haven't been able to get to it. So for all you guys that won something last week, we will be reaching out to you as soon as possible. You don't need to do anything. We have your email address. We will contact you getting your mailing address as soon as possible, and then we will start getting those things out. We're so busy. We're trying very hard to get those things.
Everything that
but you don't need to
mail out. So anything I have to mail out, it will not go out until at least the 15th. So, but I will make sure that everything I have gets out, except for the Wheel of Fortune thing, because I have to find a box for it. But that's the only. Everything else will go out before we go to Vegas the following week. I'm only home 12 days in all of November. I only work 9 days in all of November. So that should tell you how much I'm gone.
Wow, that was quite a rant.
November's going to be busy.
Yeah. Let's see. Jackie Flax has a good question. I have a question about budgeting for gambling at any casino. How do you figure out on how much you bring for gambling on the slots? That's a very personal question. Like we can't really answer that. The things that we can do is tell you, number one, make sure it's money, as we always say, as Dave always says, especially, that you could catch on fire. Consider an entertainment budget. Like you are literally using this. There you go.
Right there. Money you're willing to burn.
Think of it as entertainment. You're going out for the weekend, hotel stay, restaurant, whatever, all those charges that you have, or you're going to a show, a baseball game, something. Treat it like that. Okay. It's entertainment. You are going to be okay financially if you come home and you lose that money, because we all should be very much aware that is the likely scenario. It will happen more often than not, that you will come home with. Why are you always freaking laughing when I'm talking?
This one is Jody, okay?
So bad, I'm talking like serious stuff, and then I hear chuckles over here.
Okay. The other thing I was going to say on this topic is make sure all your bills are paid. Yeah. Make sure everything is set for you for both, not only before your trip, but after your trip. And then whatever money you budgeted for your entertainment, that's your budget. Okay. That's, as I said, super personal question, because that amount is different for everyone. So I make sure my bills are already paid. And then I make sure that my bills for the next month are paid. And then what I have left over after food, after bills, everything, that's the money you can burn. Whether it's going to the movies, I can take $500 to the movie theater and watch 7 movies, probably 3 movies with popcorn, or I can go gambling. That's your give and take. That money could be used for something else. But if you don't want that something else, you want the entertainment value, that's the money.
Well said.
And where did Jody's comment go? Because this is hilarious. Are you going to be home for my birthday?
You think I would leave on her birthday? I'm not that much of an asshole. Close. But.
I was like, Jody, I'm 100% sure it's not on your birthday, because Mark had already told me when your birthday was. It's like, okay, we can't go that date. So
thank you,
I believe Dave. We adjusted it. Yeah.
Dave, thank you.
I was like,
bros unite. I appreciate
exactly.
it.
Bam. Like, we already know he's going to be there for your birthday. He made sure to tell me that. Like,
it's on a Monday anyway. You're not going to be home until like 8 p.m. and then you're going to want to go to bed. So, booyah.
You should take her out to someplace super nice, like Roadhouse.
Wendy's.
And tell her she can have all the rolls and cinnamon butter she can eat.
She doesn't like the cinnamon butter.
What?
It's my favorite. This is the only reason I like going there, is the cinnamon butter and the rolls.
Rolls and cinnamon butter. It's like, are you ready to order? No,
I'm full.
I got peanuts and rolls. What do I need to order for?
I know. All right, Dave, you get a couple.
All right, I love this one here. This one just came in too. So I do have others I've starred, but this one from Lockwood Larson. Why is Cherry's Jubilee a game you recommend? The pay table on it is so small. There's 6 or 7 items on the pay table. So that means there's no wilds, for one thing. This makes it a better game to play is when you're trying to build a budget or probably take a stab at that $1,000 on the jackpot, which does get paid out often. Last time we were there, Mark hit it. I did not. I was there as well. Also did not hit it. So I'm 2 strikes on that one for the last 2 trips. But the trip before that, I hit it twice. 1 machine and then 2 spins on another machine. The one thing is don't put a lot of money in it. Don't chase that $1,000. I set a $300 max of what I'm putting in Cherry's Jubilee because that's essentially 1/3 of the total prize I can get. I put more than that in there and I don't get it. Well, am I going to keep going? Am I up to 500, 700, 800, 1,000? Now I'm just winning what I put in. So that's why I kind of say $300.
It's like diminishing returns at that point, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Cherry's Jubilee is a great game. It is a straight, maybe hit the 100 credits, maybe hit the jackpot. That's about it to the game. There's no, you're hitting 300 credits or 500 credits or, you're going to hit 30 credits 7 times in a row. No, you might hit 5 credits constantly. Then you'll hit the 100 credits. And then all of a sudden, maybe if you're lucky, the jackpot comes up. Susan hit it 3 times.
Yeah.
3 times. So it does hit a lot. So that's why we recommend the game.
Yeah, she was in our text group during the meetup. And she kept saying, I just hit it. And then an hour later, I hit it again. And 15 minutes later, I just hit it.
I thought it was the same text coming through.
No. It's like, how many times, Susan? Slow down. Save some for the rest of people. Yep. All right.
Yeah, that is true.
Teresa G says, with timing being a thing on a line hit, does it make a difference to let credits go or stop them and hit spin? It doesn't matter. If you want to wait, slow down your play a little bit, let it wait.
I like waiting.
The thing is that people try to say, well, it's all about timing. And theoretically, that is correct. It is all about timing. But it's not predictable timing, right? That's the thing that needs to be put in front of it. There's no predictable timing of when to push the button. So if you want to wait for the credits to roll up, go for it. A lot of us do that just to kind of enjoy it, especially a big hit. I will let it sit there and roll up as long as possible because I like to see all the money and stuff coming at me. But yeah, you do you. Like if you want to just hurry up and get to the action, that's fine. We don't really recommend it, of course, but there's no way to like predict the timing of the next spin and stuff like that. Well, thank you, Teresa. Good question.
And from Christy Brown, what is home base for you guys? If you're talking about home as where we live, I live in Fort Worth. Mark lives in Temple, Texas, if you didn't know. Our home base for casino is probably going to be WinStar. It would be our local casino, even though it's an hour away from me and 3 hours away from Mark, but it's the closest thing we got.
I'm glad it's 3 hours away.
Wait until there's a huge one in Hillsboro.
Oh, gosh. I doubt it. Well, then it will take like 2 hours to get through Waco. So
that's true.
That's what will end up happening.
That'd be still horrible. I'll take another one here from Titus Mom. Oak Lawn. You meant Oak Lawn. Isn't that the one Dave got kicked out of? Yes, it is. They aren't just they aren't nice people, are they? The staff at Oak Lawn is very nice. They are great people. The security director is not friendly at all to YouTubers. And so essentially I'll go there and play my free play and then I leave. And that's what I'm gonna do from now on. I won't play slots there anymore. I will go over to Saracen Casino, which is an hour and a half away. So instead of driving 30 minutes to Oak Lawn, I choose to drive an hour and a half away for a better property. And now a lot of people have these things of, I don't like this casino, I don't win there. I don't like that casino, I don't win there. Stop going there. Go to a different place.
If you're not having fun, don't go.
If you're not having fun, go someplace else. You don't have to stay at that one. Yes, the other option might be further away. Some people that further away might be 5 hours away. So then I would just go less. And essentially, instead of going to an hour away casino maybe 3 times a month, I would go to the 5 hour casino maybe once every 2 months. So
save up for a funner night.
Yep.
Let's see. $5 yo. Hey, I remember you
$5
too.
yo.
You were the one that saw us, and we gave you the poker chip, right? I think that's when we were at WinStar. I think I remember you. Love the channel. On a class 2 like Red Ruby at WinStar, is it better to bet aggressively at the beginning or at the end card to try to hit red screen? Makes no difference whatsoever. And I'm going to briefly explain. We did a whole video on this, but I'm going to briefly explain why. So the further along in the call out, which is where the bingo numbers are going through, you see them cycling, you're going to see more highlighted numbers on the card, the bingo card. So it looks like you have more potential to make matches. The problem is those highlighted numbers are mostly filled with ineligible numbers, and the ineligible numbers are the ones that are in white. Those are the ones that are actually counting up. The eligible numbers are already decided when the bingo game starts. That's the ones that are kind of at the beginning, and they're usually like in yellow or orange or something like that. Those are the numbers that are not climbing up. They are fixed. Those are the numbers that you're actually matching on the bingo cards. It doesn't matter. You shouldn't wait to the beginning or wait till the end or anything like that. It's not going to make any difference. But there's another element to that, and that is also that some of the pays that you get on those bingo patterns are not eligible if a certain number of balls have not been called yet. So you do have that also. So there's a lot of randomness going on. You see that's the whole point of it, is they don't want it to be predictable. So there's a lot of different variables going on. The type of card that you get, the number of eligible numbers that are presented, how many bingo calls or numbers have been called. All of those things are playing into what you might potentially get on every single spin. And so it's a big randomized event. But what you really want to see, and you can't predict this, by the way, but if you hit that spin button and the bingo game starts over and you see a bunch of numbers filled in, you're about to get a giant red screen because not a lot of bingo numbers have been called. That means that most, except for maybe 1 or 2 numbers, are all eligible. And on the video that we did, Susan or Private Monkey, if you could find the part 1 on class 2 bingo that I did maybe 6 months ago or so. Funny enough, while I was demonstrating the game, I had probably the best red screen I've ever had on a dollar machine. And you can see it if you watch it. As soon as I hit the spin button, the game reset and the card was very filled in. And I had 9 or 10 red spins. It was nuts. So that's what you're kind of looking for. But there's no way to try to predict when the right time to hit the button is. There's no way to do that. So that's the long answer. I said I was going to make it short, but hey, I like to explain these things. So there you go.
I knew it wasn't going to be short.
Shut up.
From Spicy Ramen 602, what are the pros and cons of leaking an account with a spouse? So the pros, let's go that pros list is pretty nice. For one, you earn points from both play onto one account. So instead of having 2 accounts, earning 1,000 credits each run, you're earning 2,000 credits on each trip because both of you are combined accounts. The con part of it all, offers go to one person. So essentially you pick who the primary is, whether it's one or the other. So your spouse is the primary, all the offers are going to go in their name. So that means if you want to go to Vegas without your spouse, all the offers are in their name. You can't do it. So that means I can't go if my spouse was there. However, whoever goes to Vegas the most, that's whose card you want to use. So that's who wants to be the principal. So if you go to Vegas all the time and your wife only goes with you, then it would be best to put it in yours as the primary. Now there are many other pros and there are a few cons. Just remember that pool is now there. So as you use that pool up of comps, it does have to be replenished. And that means that both of you are gambling. Some places are difficult to deal with on these to linking the cards. Make sure in the player rules that you can link cards and that it is both points are being earned equally on both cards. Some casinos have different rules. There are casinos out there that kind of want people to link cards, but you actually end up earning them slower on the rate of points. So always be sure of that. I definitely say link cards at properties like MGM or Caesars because it is very advantageous to do so, and the cons are very small.
All right, let's see. CM McElroy says, if you run through $300 in free play, does any of that go to Theo, or is it not counted at all? Do you at least get credit for the time played and chance to be in Vegas end of January? It really depends on the system, but in most cases, no. They're not going to give you tier credits or any kind of points on free play at all.
It also does not apply to your Theo because it is essentially house money you're playing on.
It's house money, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Most scenarios are not. This is a large reason why MGM does the credit back. Like you wager, then it credits you back. It's just different systems. But yeah, no, you're not going to earn tier status or anything off of free play. They would never let that happen.
Yeah.
They would never let that happen.
Oh, from KFC manager, because they have to about if we're going to be in Vegas in January. Don't know about that far in advance yet, but KFC manager said, got a trip to Vegas in 2 weeks. Well, we'll also be there in 2 weeks from the 21st to the 24th of November. Maybe we'll see you there. Maybe we'll see you there.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Cherry's Jubilee take free play. Pretty sure it does. I think I've used it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not 100%, but I'm almost 100%.
I want to say that I did, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
I can let you know in 2 weeks.
There you go.
From Alex L. Hey guys, any update on HHR machines? Sorry, Alex, we got nothing new on HHR. Most likely what's going to happen is into the next year, we're probably going to be getting up to the Oregon, Washington area where there is HHR, and we'll probably just be playing those games before we get to talk to somebody. Hopefully we get to talk to somebody ahead of time about that, but so far nothing.
Yeah, I don't think they have HHR up there. That's all VLT stuff.
Oh, and Washington doesn't have HHR?
No, it's VLT.
Oh, Kentucky. Kentucky. Yes.
Yeah, Kentucky's the one, yeah.
If we get to go see Proud Monkey,
we'll play some HHR.
We'll play some HHR. Probably hate it.
It's just
it's a different class too.
People get so caught up in but it's not a Vegas machine. You know, it's a VLT or it's a HHR or it's bingo. All they are, guys, are just it's different. It's like that I'm sure you've heard this before, where states have these dumb rules. You know, like you can't buy a chicken on Sunday before 2 p.m. Like just these laws that were passed for a long time, and they're just dumb laws. I consider
Texas, you can't have a pair of wire cutters in your back pocket when you're in town. You will be arrested for cattle rustling. It is still on the books today.
Okay.
Yep.
Anyway, they're dumb laws. Basically, these are the states that have just said, we don't want Vegas-style gaming here. You know, we just don't want that. So there's basically loopholes. And the loopholes are finding different ways to do randomness. Historical horse racing is what HHR is. That is one way to produce randomness, because there's been a lot of historical horse racing. You don't know which race is going to be pulled up. You don't know which horse you're going to be picked. None of that stuff. You don't know it. Just like with bingo. When you press the spin button, you don't know what card you're going to be dealt. You don't know what patterns are going to be eligible. You don't know any of that stuff until you press the spin button. And the same with VLT. It's just randomly picking essentially virtual lottery tickets that gives you a win or doesn't give you a win. They're just different ways of producing randomness. And I think what makes people very nervous around them is that they're just weird. I always thought the Class 2 bingo games were very weird. I stayed far away from them. I didn't like the bells. I thought they looked cheesy, like the graphics with the Mr. Moneybags, and it looked cartoony. I just didn't like it.
Yeah,
but I didn't understand it. And once I understood it, and I play them, they don't feel any different than playing a double diamond machine to me or a triple diamond. It's just essentially the same thing. It's just different in the way that it's divvying out wins and stuff. So try not to get so tied up in it. I know a lot of people feel that it makes a big impact on the returns, but they all have the same basic return percentages. Just like with bingo style games, when the bingo server is running, there's a payback percentage set, and it does its thing to come within that payback percentage the same way it does on a slot machine. It just does it a little bit differently. So,
And Jim says, New Hampshire has HHR. We can go up there when you come back to Foxwoods. There we go. Then, super bonus, we don't have to see Proud Monkey.
Oh,
Slam.
oh, dang.
That was a good dig.
Low budget, high limit slots. Just saw this coming. Can you purchase a slot machine that is relatively new, or is there a time frame you must wait? There is a little bit of a time frame, but not always. It really depends on the manufacturer and also when casinos start to get rid of them. So to explain this process very briefly, what happens is that casinos have a choice. They can either purchase the slot machine outright and do what they want with it, or they can do a participation, which is called a leased machine, which they don't pay for the machine. The manufacturer comes and installs it and everything, but in exchange, the manufacturer owns the machine, and they also take a percentage of the money coming into the machine. It doesn't make the payback percentages any worse or better. It just means they get a bigger cut, okay, in exchange for not having to buy the cabinet. Most casinos have a mix of both. And so if a casino does buy a machine outright, as soon as it's not being played or people don't want it anymore or whatever, they get rid of it. They sell it. And they sell it to dealers. They're basically big brokers, and they put up big auctions where these dealers buy them by the hundreds, by the truckloads. And those dealers then distribute these games out to people like me and other small dealers, things like that, and then ultimately, hopefully, to the home user, right? That process takes a while, as you can imagine. And any game that is hot, that is actively being played, is not going to be easy to get on the home market because casinos are actively using it, right? So it really depends on the game, the manufacturer, what's available, stuff like that. But generally speaking, you have to wait about 3 or 4 years after a new cabinet comes out before you start to see it on the public market. There are exceptions, but that's kind of the general rule.
All right. Stay tuned for more info on that.
Yep.
And from Seal, Everi has volatilities for their slots 1 through 5. Are 2 to 3 volatility slots good to play? So Mark and I have actually had this debate many times, and we're going to start doing the same thing, rating 1 through 5. Here's the problem. What's 1? It doesn't matter when you say volatility, as if you don't have something to compare it to. A slot being volatile without anything to compare it to is just nothing. It's just a slot machine. So a 1 on our scale, being the best, would be Double Diamond, Cherry's Jubilee, in that range. So something that would be considered to be a 1. A 5 would be what? Money Mansions 5, something like that. So the highest. So essentially anything in between would fall in there. So on Everi's, they're listing their own games. So they have rated one of their games being a 1. And I don't necessarily think I would agree with their games being a 1. Let's just take into account Total Meltdown. I don't believe Total Meltdown would be a 1 on our scale. I think that would be more like a 2.5 to a 3 on our scale, you know? So it all depends on where you rate it. For Everi's ratings, I would say stick to the 1 to 2s and stay away from anything 3 or higher. On our rating, I would probably say 3 is where the max play where max would be where I would play.
Yeah. And remember, guys, the volatility is a choice, okay? The reason we push low volatility games is because that's our play style. We're not looking for the gigantic jackpots and the gigantic progressives and stuff. We're just looking for extended play time and building bankrolls. Yeah, and making it last, because there's a lot of benefits there. You're earning more comps because you're churning more money through that machine. And second, just think about slot machines. Really, what you ultimately want is to get as many spins as you possibly can, because that's how you beat the probability, right? By getting more and more spins. And so that's why lower volatility is kind of where we try to steer our audience, because that's what we typically play. Now, there's nothing wrong with playing a high volatility game. Don't get us wrong. But you need to go into it expecting or knowing what to expect. And what you should expect from a high volatility game is very infrequent pays less than your bet back, long periods before a bonus comes around. Progressives that are very hard to hit. Those are high in volatility because essentially they have the same payback percentage as a double diamond machine. Okay. They're going to get there, but the way they get there is much different. One is like, boom, big hit, dead, 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 dead. Boom, big hit, dead, 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 dead. And if you catch it at the point where you're just not lucky enough and it's just dead, 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 then it'll just wreck you. And you can see this on all the big YouTubers when they play those high volatility games. They have swings where it's just nothing and nothing and nothing. Bonus finally hits and it sucks. And then there's nothing and nothing and nothing. You know, you just got to be prepared for playing that type of machine. And unfortunately, that is really what's out there these days, is more and more high volatility games. I think they're going to dial it back over the next coming years, but that's really all the penny games are mostly high volatility.
I mean, where can they go from here? How much more volatile can they get?
I know there's a fine balance, right? Because if a game is too volatile, then people will not want to play it because they never can hit on it. So people need to win in order for the game to become popular. But I think, and this is a really interesting topic of discussion, is I think YouTube or social media in a way has played a role into this, a very small role, but played a role into this because you see the bonuses, you see all the shorts from TikTok, from YouTube, of the huff and puff. Look, I got a full screen of mansions. You see all that kind of stuff. You see, you know, the potential of these games. But what you don't see is what you will experience when you sit down at that game, which is a lot of nothing, right? And that's what's missing. So I think people get really excited about the potential of wins that you can get on that game, which is certainly possible. But you need to be able to walk away and not chase for that. And that's where the volatility danger really comes in my opinion, is that those games are designed to make you chase with the fake bowls and the fake pots and the fake jewels and everything perceived, making you think it's about to hit. All those things is getting you to put more and more and more cash in because you're not satisfied until you walk away with a bonus or you walk away with a win, right? And that was what game designers are pushing more than anything right now. And it's because people play them, right? So try to steer away from those if you can. That's our advice. But if you want to play them, just limit yourself. Say, listen, Mark and Dave said this is a high volatility game. I'm going to do 10 spins or 20 spins and I'm out. No matter what happens. You get no bonus, no line hits, nothing, get out.
Bail.
Don't keep putting money in. Yep.
And from Hey Helen, are y'all going to see F1 in Vegas?
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
We are going to be there the week after F1. I do not want to go to Vegas during F1. It doesn't sound fun at all. So yeah,
it's just not. I mean, if we were F1 fans, of course we would be there.
Well, I'm an F1 fan, but I watch it great on TV.
Fan, right?
It's great on TV because you know what? I can get up and go to the bathroom anytime I want. I don't have to drink a $7 bottle of water. Yeah.
I think the only time I'd be interested in seeing it is if I got like one of those rooms with the balcony and I could see it. That way I can go use the bathroom in my hotel room.
Yeah, or like a pit pass to where like you're in the pit area and you're watching them.
Right.
You know, that's where the cool stuff happens. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Not this trip, not next trip. Pass.
Not never.
I'm gonna take another one
here.
Want to
do just a real quick reminder, guys. The month of November, every live stream that we do, that includes our weekly live streams as well as any that we do inside of the casino. 100% of all the super chats and YouTube ad revenue is going to go to the Children's Army. This is for our good buddy Will to the Stars. You see him in the chat here. He has a fantastic organization for helping kids. They are our future, so we want to try to help them as much as we possibly can. You guys have been graciously donating all night. We really do appreciate that. We're hoping to hit a big number for November to really help him out. And let's see what we can do together. So thank you so much, guys. Really do appreciate the willingness to support if you can.
Also, I want to announce that we will be at one of the golf tournaments in 2025 for the Children's Army. Mark's just finding this out.
Yeah. I think I'll just stay on the putting green.
Oh, no. You got to play too. If I got to play, you got to play.
Eesh. My golf game is horrid.
It can't be worse than my game.
I'll throw it. Yes, it is. I guarantee you.
Well, here's the thing is,
We'll
we
still
don't
have
have
fun.
to be good. We don't have to win. You know,
That's true.
that's the best part.
As long as we go last, I don't want people behind us like, man, look at these idiots down like 12
I don't want
strokes
to
to
go
get to the green.
first. Do you want to go
I
last? I
know.
don't want to go last.
Right.
And from Gary Slots and Travel, any news on raising the $1,200 Handpay jackpots? There is zero news. There's really zero steam behind it except from the player community. I sincerely doubt we're going to hear anything new in the next couple of years on this. The election just happened. House and Senate. They're going to be working on things that were promised during the campaigns. So I do not see this making it way it's into any law because Congress has to pass the law. And generally speaking, it's, most of the time in a budget or it's in the tax code changes, which could happen. I just don't see this sneaking in there. I really don't see it being a priority for any of the laws. And there's always this thing sticks in the back of my mind. If someone really wants a law to change, like people are really backed behind it and super excited about this law changing, it has about a 3% chance of becoming law. If no one likes the law, there is no support on it whatsoever, it still has about a 3% chance of becoming law. I don't know where I heard that. It was in somewhere, but yeah, that just goes to show you probably not a big thing happening soon.
Right.
I would not be shocked.
CM has confirmed that Cherry's Jubilee does take.
There we go.
Get the jackpot using free play. That's awesome.
This is how we have a great community.
Jackpot, right?
They're always scoping out.
And Pinning Pinching says, Mark, you can drive the golf cart. I don't know. As a kid, my dad would let me drive the golf cart. It was my favorite thing to do until I ran it into a ditch. And that was the last time I ever
I'm driving the golf cart then. We have to be able to live through the round. That's the one caveat. So from KFC manager, aside from parking MGM in New York, are there any other MGM properties worth gambling at? Four Queens is my favorite, but MGM comps are everything, so no resort fees on Sapphire. No, Sapphire has resort fees. Gold is the first one without resort fees. Make sure to look that up. Yes, there are definitely. I like playing at MGM Grand. I like playing at Luxor. I like playing at Excalibur. Each property has games slightly different. I like actually playing at Mandalay Bay for a couple of things. Like they have the $1 top dollars there. I like those. At Excalibur, they have the penny, 2 cent and 5 cent top dollar 9 lines, 5 reel machines. They're super old. They're dying. Luxor I always like hopping into to see if they have anything new in their high limit room because they kind of bring back
really gutting things there though. I mean,
it's nuts. It's almost like they're planning something, but I think they're just rotating out machines. But I'm always hopeful that $5 line top dollar comes back because I know it's in their warehouse somewhere. They just haven't brought it back.
And check out Mandalay Bay too. They have the 2 credit dollar double top dollars.
And they have that new mini golf in Mandalay Bay.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's a adult mini golf. Well, it's a mini golf.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I saw the news article on that. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe we'll go play during our trip there. Yeah. We could practice for Will's. Practice for Will's tournament. Here's a quick one from Liz B. Do slot dollars from MGM count against Theo? Liz, I do not believe they do. I believe any credits you get, because those slot dollars you can cash in for both play and you can cash them in towards resort things as well. I do not believe they would count against Theo just because anything you earn from play generally doesn't give you back anything. So I will try to find a for sure answer on that, but I'm pretty sure that's the answer.
And John Bishop, first time making it on a live show. Well, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, John. Appreciate it.
Coming. Good to see you in here, buddy. Thanks for coming. Let's see.
Here's a good one here. Larry Binns. Can you guys explain the 5-line works on a bingo style slot machine? Because I believe the confusion is... Oh, he's got another question here too. There we go. This one here. I believe the confusion is, are there 5 cards being played? and it's just one card, you're just
Right.
matching multiple lines. So
Yep.
one line will be one symbol. Another line will be another pattern that you're matching.
Actually,
so if
it
you're
could be the
matching,
same. It actually
it
could
could be
be
the
the
same.
same.
Yeah.
So if you got a 5-line, you could get, in theory, well, let's see. If you get the cherry in the middle, for example, that pays on 5 lines. It could be, I don't know what the pattern is, but you could actually get like private stripes 5 times because you get
Oh,
private
gotcha. Yeah.
stripes for each line that's on there. Actually, no, it's just 3 because it's not lines 2 and 3. But yeah, anytime you add lines to bingo games, that's why you can see the patterns come up again and again. We see this a lot on the 5 reel 9 line too, where it's like, oh, private stripes. Oh, small diamond. Now it's back to private stripes. Well, it's because it's hitting on multiple lines, and you can do that. So the single pay line, you will only see that pattern once. So if you hit private stripes, that's it. You're not going to get it
That's
again.
it. Done.
But yeah,
Unless you start with like, I's and then go into open V, letter Y, private stripes, all
yeah.
that.
I mean,
And
it
those
just
will be the
won't.
red screens
On the
progressing
single
through.
pay line, it won't.
Yeah.
On a single
It
pay
won't
line,
do
it
that
won't be. Yeah.
And here's one from Michael K. Are games still coming out that have an advantageous state? Yes, they are. They're still coming out. Manufacturers are still manufacturing them. Casinos are still putting them in. It's just they're trying to figure out where they're going. So right now we're in a flux state with advantage play. Do they stop it? Do they not stop it? Do they take out the machines? Do they not take out the machines? Until they make up their mind, they're going to keep doing what they're doing because the games are popular.
We shall see. We do see advancements in that area in Ainsworth specifically. They're now taking the metered progressives, the must-hit-by progressives. They're taking them out of individual cabinets and making them a local area, which means it doesn't matter which machine you're playing. They're kind of shared amongst the bank that you're in. So they're doing that to try to prevent the targeting of a single machine, which is a problem. Like that's the problem, is that the advantage players are ruining the general experience for general gamblers that don't understand advantage play. And I think that's the problem that casinos are facing, because they can't do anything about them. They can't say, hey, you need to stop playing that. There's nothing they can do. I mean, they can kick them out for other reasons, but I think it would be hard to say, you're taking advantage of that slot, you need to go. They can't really do that legally without running into legal problems. But if they take it out of a single machine and share it, that kind of destroys the purpose of, or the reasoning to have to get on one machine and take it over.
Yeah.
So.
And from Jim, can we bet on who has the worst golf game when you play it in a tournament? I'm pretty sure Mark's going to have a worse game than I am.
Yeah. I think so too.
I am bad, but I don't know if I'm Mark bad.
I haven't swung a club in, geez, 15
It doesn't
years.
help. It doesn't help to go practice. And everyone's like, I'm going to go to the driving range. Why? That you're going to waste all your best shots.
The reason I got, this is going to sound weird, but the reason I got out of golf is it's an expensive hobby.
It's an expensive hobby.
That's why I took over disc golf. I played disc golf. That's free.
Because you could always find your disc.
Yeah. It's a lot easier to find a disc than a golf ball in the weeds. That's for sure.
I buy an 18 pack of balls, so I know that I'm going to finish the game with all, because I could lose a ball hole easily.
That's right. Row F says, if you keep seeing the major ball pop up, does that mean it will hit soon? No, absolutely not. Gives you no indication. I think we explained this on the last live stream, but there's a really good explanation to how all these dragon links and dragon cash and lightning links and kind of the hold and spin features work. All they are just reels. There's 15 reels. Each individual square is a reel. Okay. So if you imagine a physical reel game, you're looking at 15 reels. And during the hold and spin feature, it's the same kind of probability that we talked about a little bit earlier, where there are about half of the reels are somewhat probable to get a lock, right? And within each of those reels is a different probability of each of those different balls that might hit. And there's just not a lot of majors in there. But even when you see it flashing or anything like that, it doesn't give you any indication that it's coming soon. It was in there. It was in the reel. They're all in the reels, but that doesn't mean it's going to hit anytime soon. So there's a lot of stuff out there about Dragon Cash, Dragon Link that just not true. But We can go into that later. It's a long explanation. It's definitely a tease. Tim D says it's a tease. Yes. That game is a big tease.
Yeah, big time.
Let's see. I did not know this was at WinStar, Legend of the 3x2 Phoenix. I think it's by no, I know where it is. It's right outside the Rome non-smoking room. I remember seeing it. It's also where the Chili Mania, the Red Hot, or the Chili Mania respin. It's next to those. I've seen them, but I haven't played them there. It's a good game. I like it, and it doesn't cost a lot. Yeah, it's you can bet. I think the lowest bet on that is like 30 cents or 60 cents. It's not bad, and you can play for a while on that game too.
It's like Chili Mania where there's low bet amounts.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys, I think we're going to wrap it up here. We went through an hour. Really do appreciate it. And guys, again, thank you so much
for all those donations.
All those donations, we really do appreciate it. We will keep you updated on the totals at the beginning of each live stream of where we're at. Really do appreciate everybody's support with that. It means the world to us, and I know it means the world to Will and his children that he's helping out. It makes a big impact. Okay, so I'm looking right at you guys. Thank you. Yes. Seriously, thank you.
It's super important that, Mark and I have talked a lot about what we want to do with this channel. And part of it is we want to be able to help, and not just help others, but also help a charity like Will's. We do a lot of different giveaways, different things. We have the shirts that are still in our store that every shirt sold, 100% of those profits go to breast cancer research, American Cancer Society. And so these kind of things matter to us because they are important. And we appreciate you guys supporting that so much.
Well said, Dave. Well said. All right, guys. Well, as always, like we wrap up with every show, gamble smart.
Gamble safe.
And we'll hope you guys take it easy. I know where I was going with that. You ever have brain farts? I know. I was just like staring. My brain short-circuited. All right, guys.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Proud Monkey. Appreciate you guys.
Oh, yes, definitely. Susan, Proud Monkey. We don't mention you guys enough, but thank you. Really do.